Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Broad Street Boys. It's just me today. This is going to be a very interesting episode because today's Wednesday. Monday, Eagles lost on Monday Night Football, and we're going to get into that. I was going to record this yesterday, but I was still recovering from that awful loss on Monday. So whatever I say here is definitely the dumbed down version of what I was thinking about saying yesterday. So that's kind of funny. But today we're going to talk about the Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies. And maybe a little bit about the Flyers, believe it or not. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but them and the Sixers are the most fun to watch in this city. So I think that's really fun. But we're just going to start with the Eagles just to get this out of the way. This is definitely going to be the longest segment because they're awful. All I gotta say is that they're not fun to watch right now. This whole year, this is what I've been saying. Maybe I said it on the podcast, maybe I haven't. This team is not fun to watch. Even when they win, it's not fun. The only time I recall having fun is when Jalen Hurts ran into the end zone to beat the Bills. That's it, in overtime. And when Jake Elliott hits that 50-some yarder in the pouring rain. That is the only fun I've had this entire year. This team feels very disjointed. I don't know what it is. It's got to be the coordinators or Nick Sirianni. But honestly, something needs to change. And I'd like the idea of going to Patricia because he's done it before. And I'm just gonna go to the defense later, but I'm gonna start with the offense. I mean, whether it's Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, a combination of the two, just Nick Sirianni, the offense sucks. The fact that you have a guy, Christian McCaffrey, who is on the Manning broadcast, calling out plays and calling plays is embarrassing. He is an offensive player. He's not even the defense. Imagine the defensive players knowing what's going to come. And then it's easy as hell to stop. Jalen Hurts does not look good. I don't care how sick you are, and I know he has been sick, so I'm going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I don't care how sick you are. Why are you throwing to A.J. Brown on that last play? It wasn't double coverage at the time, but I mean, you have Kenneth Gainwell to your left, literally 2 yards downfield, and nobody in front of him. Nobody. I don't get it. I don't get it. And there's no way we win a playoff game playing like this. I mean, yes. I mean, it's probably the fact that we have played two of the better teams in the NFC and then the Seahawks. But, I mean, come on, dude. It's Drew Lock. It's Drew Lock. He's not good. He's a backup for a reason. I just don't get it. It's weird because I usually have a reason or use, I don't know, logic to see what's wrong with my teams. I have no idea what's wrong with this team. I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts. I don't know if it's the coordinators. I don't know if it's Nick Sirianni. I don't know. But recently, I've been going the more Nick Sirianni route. And I hate to do it. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but like everybody is giving Nick Sirianni just the benefit of the doubt time and time again. Even last year, you could see throughout the stats when it was the first 3 or 4 games where it was just Nick Sirianni last year calling plays, and the margin of difference was close. And then all of a sudden, he gave it to Shane Steichen, and then we blew out every team. So, and then Steichen leaves, Johnson comes in, and I guess Sirianni's calling the plays, and we're just not good. Brian Johnson, I don't know why you were ever qualified for this job, but you are not. I'm sorry. It makes me upset because maybe because we were in the Super Bowl, that caused us to be late in signing coordinators. I don't give a shit. Jalen Hurts needs to play better. Period. Jalen Hurts needs to play better. And I don't get why it's Hurts and Sirianni. Everyone's giving him the benefit of the doubt, and everybody's blaming the coordinators, which it is the coordinators' fault. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to put a little bit of blame on everybody. And Jalen Hurts has not looked good. And again, last game, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, like we all have been for the past year, because he's been sick or whatever. But and his knees, whatever, and he's just a little banged up. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But does the flu make you overthrow people? Does the flu clog your mind to throw to A.J. Brown in coverage while Kenneth Gainwell is right there, 2 yards down the field, and you have probably the hottest kicker period right now, who what was it, 3 weeks ago, hit a 50-some yarder in the pouring rain and wind. Like the guy that's been here for years and has been money for years, but you throw to AJ Brown down the field, or the same guy that threw the Quez Watkins way down the field on 1st and 10 when you're at the 40 and didn't want your points. That same guy, like I just don't get it. Yes, Quez Watkins was held, but make smarter decisions. Like, and this has been honestly a running thing with Jalen Hurts. I mean, he was good enough last year, and he was great last year, but he just hasn't looked the same this year, and I don't know why. And it's got to be the coordinators, the coaches, but I'm really trying not to freak out about Jalen Hurts because we did just pay him, and this is not me being like, oh, we shouldn't have paid him. Like last year, super smart to pay him. He was number 2 in MVP votes. Of course you're going to pay a guy like that. I mean, it would make no sense not to. It's just he's just got to step it up. And maybe, I mean, I saw this somewhere, but maybe last year he was used to like going into the fourth quarter, just like comfortably us having like a 20-point lead and not having to lead like game-winning drives. And then this year it's completely different, where he has to do it every single game, and he has to be the man every single game. Maybe it's that sort of thing, but yeah, I don't know, because it's weird. Because the Cowboys game, I put it less on Hurts because it was really a combination of everybody. That Cowboys game was awful. I hated watching every minute of that. Like everybody was fumbling. I mean, Hurts obviously, but even Devontae Smith fumbled and AJ Brown fumbled. So I was trying not to put all the blame on Jalen Hurts, but this game is a lot on Jalen Hurts. I mean, I actually thought Smith and Brown played well for the circumstances, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. I know everybody else, and I know everybody else saying it. Run the damn ball. I don't get it. You have the best line, period. One of the best lines. Fine. I mean, they're definitely top 5. You run it behind this line, and then with DeAndre Swift every time, shit. Do you stop him? No. You never will. And I just don't know why we just don't run it down everybody's throats. That first drive that we had in this game, we got the ball first, whatever. I forget. I think it took 8 minutes to get down the field. That was probably the most complete drive I've seen since the bye week. like that was impressive. It was dominant. There were no penalties. It was dominant. We need to whatever. I think Sirianni needs to look at that drive and be like, okay, this is how we're gonna win. And the last thing I'll say about the offense, this team's weird because it's either, and me as a, I wouldn't say I'm a casual, but I mean I'm a fan watching from a TV screen. I can have a pretty good chance on guessing what they're gonna play. It's either an RPO, which is a combination of 3 things, which is running, passing, or Hurts like QB running or whatever. It's either or a 3rd and 4 QB run like what McCaffrey did, or a slant to AJ Brown, or a go route to Quez Watkins or Devontae Smith. That's like the combination of 4 or 5 plays that they're going to do, and it's weird because like I want to be wrong, but whenever I see it in game, like I'm like, oh, here comes the QB rush, and then all of a sudden Jalen Hurts is busting right through the middle with it when it's 3rd and 6. Like I just don't get it. Like I feel like we do try to run it, but we run at the wrong times. Why the hell are we running Jalen Hurts on a 3rd and 7? Yes, it works on like a 3rd and 4, but I watched us do it on like a 3rd and 7. What the hell are we doing? Like I just don't get it. And again, probably the coordinators, but I don't care. Figure it out. This team is too talented for all this controversy. This team is too talented for all the controversy. We're way too deep at the offensive positions. We're just way too deep offensively for everybody to be doubting us. And I thought last year was a perfect example of what we can be, and we didn't lose that many players. Like it's weird because I'm watching this team and I'm like, if we had so and so, but then I was like, wait, it's the exact same team. We just lost our coordinator, and I think we're really seeing the effects of Shane Steichen right now. He's taking this Indianapolis team with Gardner Minshew, and they're in the playoffs right now, and they probably are going to make the playoffs, and they actually look like they fight in games just like how we did last year, and it just makes me sad that we just don't seem to have that fight this year. Yeah, and I'll move on to the defense now, but I think everyone's putting more blame on the defense, and I don't get it because when it comes down to it, football is a team game, right? And you need both sides to contribute equally. But when the offense has 2-minute drives or like 4-minute drives, and the defense is stuck on that field, yeah, they're gonna misplace. There's more opportunities for failure. But when the offense has a 3-and-out every single freaking play, like there's much more like less room for failure. While the defense was on the field, I felt like the entire second half. And I didn't actually hate the Matt Patricia play call. We held them to 3 points in the first half. We were doing something right. We were actually offensively on the ball most of the first half, and that's why they put up 3 points. And like the offense has to help this defense right now because of Slay being out, because of our linebacker depth, because of our safety depth. Like, it's just frustrating because this offense is supposed to be what makes this team, and it just doesn't. And I actually, for the circumstances, I didn't hate how Keely Ringo played. I mean, his first game against Dallas obviously wasn't good. His first tackle was a penalty, and he almost got thrown out of the game. But like, I didn't hate how he played. I didn't hate how Ricks played. Now the one person who I am more than over and who we've tried to defend is James Bradbury. I mean, this guy's burnt toast. I mean, DK Metcalf does a simple slant route and you can't cover it. What are we doing? Drew Lock converted third down after third down after third down. On that final drive, maybe it wasn't third down, maybe or whatever. He's just moving the chains every single time. If you look, all 4 plays were on Bradbury. That touchdown on Bradbury. I don't care if you go the wrong way, but he is so slow, and he gets shit on a lot from like people like Deebo Samuel and stuff. Probably because everyone thinks he's really good. I don't. He's awful. Like, he is so slow. It's funny, and the fact that Ricks and Ringo pretty much kept Tyler Lockett contained, but then on that last drive, Metcalf went off, and all of it was on Bradbury. Yes, the one catch was kind of fluky. Bradbury should have had the pick, went right through his hands, and then Metcalf caught it with his ass pretty much, and then I guess did like a weird catch. But I don't know, it's just really frustrating because we just paid him a lot of money, and he just doesn't look good. And however, I do like how in the press conference he did say, like, oh, it's my fault, like, I just gotta be better. Like, that's good. Something like Darius Slay will never do. I still can't believe that last week he said that, oh, I played well in the game. Like, pretty much throwing his team under the bus. Like, I just don't get the whole reasoning behind that at all. Like, what is that doing for you? Making you look better so when you leave you get a bigger contract? Congrats. Get the hell out. Like, that's really where I'm at with the Darius Slay. I mean, Slay's great. He's great in zone coverage, but I mean, shit, when you put your team under the bus like that, I mean, that's just embarrassing. And then you're hurt, so you can't back it up. Like, us as fans, like, what are we supposed to do? Like you? Like, like I really want to, but I mean, you can't be throwing your team under the bus like that. It's just embarrassing. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if we do win out, then we still win the division. I saw John Clark post that the other day, which means we get a home field advantage for the divisional wild card or whatever. Somehow we get a home playoff game, which is mind-boggling to me on how bad we've played the last few weeks. And it's crazy. I mean, I'm just hoping we play like some sort of awful wild card team at home, and then we beat them, and then we'll see what happens then. But we need to focus now week by week and not look ahead. And I think I saw Stephen A. Smith say this on First Take, but by losing this game, which you should have beat, it's Drew Lock. By losing this game, Hurts can't sit out that last game. Every game matters now. Like, every Giants game, you have to play now. Sorry, buddy. Like, and then the Cardinals game too in 2 weeks. You have to play. So, listen, I'm trying not to completely blame Jalen Hurts because I know the flu sucks, but that offense just looks awful, and we should be so much better. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about the Eagles. I'm just going to leave it there because I just did 15 minutes on how awful the Eagles are. And I'm going to go to the Phillies right now, who are also frustrating me. I'm going to end with the good teams. The Phillies, I don't get what they're trying to do right now. Um, they obviously lost in the playoffs, and I think everybody has tried to get over it. But I mean, it's just frustrating because I think if we get past Diamondbacks, that Rangers Phillies series is so good. Regardless we win or lose, I think that Rangers Phillies series is so good because the Rangers really were us from last year. Just that underdog team that obviously came in as the sixth seed, but it's not even that. It's like they had they had what 3 good pitchers. We have 3 good pitchers. They have a bunch of like stars, but then like good supporting players, just like us. Like they are pretty much us from last year, and the fact that they won it all is just frustrating. And I actually think we would have given them a great shot at home. So who knows? But I just don't get why we're not trying to get anybody. It seems as though to me, Dave Dombrowski is very content with this team when this team has holes. Like unless you're all in on Yamamoto, and Yamamoto would make this team perfect. Like I don't get what you're doing. You're not even trying to add bullpen pieces right now. And again, I know all the bigger pieces are waiting for Yamamoto to get signed so then they can gauge themselves on like how much they should be paid. But it's just frustrating as a fan because I feel like we should be signing people. I feel like this offseason has sucked. Like we thought we were getting Jock Peterson. Nope. Jock Peterson, I don't even know what the hell that was. I guess it was just a joke. Like that was weird. I was actually excited for that because I think obviously he's a left-handed bat, but I mean if anyone goes down, Jock is a great backup / he can give Schwarber a day or two off if Schwarber needs it because Schwarber's getting up there in age. Like it's just very frustrating to me. Yeah, and like listen, I love the Phillies, so I love when we make moves and all that, and like I just need us to add someone. I don't even care who it is. If they benefit the team in any way, if they're better than Jake Cave, I like them. Like that's where I'm at. Like I guess we're just content with Jake Cave, right? I mean, why not? It's just so frustrating. And I know I've said this before, but I kind of just wanted Mike Trout and just to trade Nick Castellanos. And people are going to disagree with that, but I don't care. Nick Castellanos, we thought was going to be this stud player last 2 years ago when we first made the playoffs, and he had one good game in the playoffs and then sucked the entire rest of the year. This recent year that we just lost in the CS, he had a good regular season. He made the All-Star team. Completely died off after the All-Star game, which was annoying. And then his average plummeted to 270s again, and he struck out every single at bat. But then all of a sudden, in that Brave series, he hits 4 home runs, and he just can't stop hitting home runs. And then you're like, oh my god, this guy's awesome. And then he gets 1 hit in the Diamondback series. What? Like it. I mean, like I love the guy, but I mean, he is frustrating to watch when he's awful. Yeah. I mean, that's honestly why I just wanted Trout, and the publicity this city would get from getting Trout, and everything that comes with it would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Regardless on if he's good or not, or if he plays like Trout is here, this team will get more money, so we could spend more money in the future. And after Ohtani signed with the Dodgers, we need to do something. That's why I'm stressing that we need to do something, because the Dodgers are going to keep signing and signing and signing, and they've done that with now Ohtani and Glass now, and with their current pitchers. So we just need to do something to keep up with them. And I mean, as long as Dave Roberts is there, they're just gonna keep choking. But I mean, it's hard to choke when you have the best player in the world on your team, plus Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Like it's just hard to fail. So I guess we'll see with that. Yeah, I mean, they're saying it's gonna happen sometime around January 4th or something. Like I just want it to happen now so we can do this. And I like when I almost like the NBA offseason / free agency, because everybody signs in that 3-day window, like specifically when that free agency opens, like everybody starts doing things, and it just progressively gets less and less and less, and then all of a sudden a big one will be like 2 days after, and then you'll just see it, and I actually like that a lot. But it's annoying because baseball, it'll start whenever it started, and then it just goes and through free agency, or sorry, spring training. So it's like an all winter sort of thing, which is a lot. But yeah, that's really all on the Phillies. Now I'm gonna talk about the Flyers. I can't believe I'm doing this. I've been really trying to get back into the Flyers. Because they're actually fun to watch, unlike every other team other than the Sixers right now. So I'm trying to have fun watching, but they just seem like the Phillies from 2 years ago. Like, they probably don't have the most stacked lineup or group of guys, but the fact that they just all play for each other and they play for their coach, it's just so entertaining to watch. And Travis Konechny and Sean Couturier are the leaders of this locker room, and I am in all favor of this. They're awesome. I saw Konechny make this crazy pass, and then I forget his name, but he put it in the back of the net for his second goal. Holy shit! I mean, they're honestly right now just fun to watch. And me, I will say it happily, I'm a casual hockey fan. I'm just trying to get into it now. And I'm trying not to be, so then I could watch them and actually enjoy. Yeah, they're just fun to watch. I don't know a whole lot about hockey, but I mean, it's passing the eye test of a casual, and that's really all you want sometimes, because they're just fun. All right, and now the Sixers. I'll end this off with. The Sixers are great right now. They were on a 6-game winning streak. They actually just lost on Monday. But Joel Embiid, I don't care what anybody has to say about him anymore. He is the MVP right now again. How can you not give it to a guy that's averaging 41 points and in that 6-game span pretty much didn't play in the fourth quarter 4 out of the 6 games? Like, I don't get how you don't give it to that guy. Plus, this Nick Nurse offense is fascinating to me because I've been stuck with Brett Brown and Doc Rivers. I mean, not bad coaches, but they're not good coaches. And it's very fascinating to me because this is how I describe it to everybody. It's very much like a college basketball sort of like working offense, a lot of movement, and I feel like right now, whenever Joel is being double teamed, he's passing out of it to the open guy. Like I watched the other night, it was the Pistons. Joel got it at the elbow, and then 2 guys flashed to him, and then passed to Tobias. Tobias hit the shot from the corner 3. And this 2-man game between him and Maxey is perfect because they really could either do the 2-man game or wait for that double to come and just pass it out, and everybody gets equal time. And then the addition of Kelly Oubre, I know I've said this, but the addition of Kelly Oubre is fantastic. The fact that he's here on a veteran's minimum, is hilarious to me because he is so good. And even Nick Batum is playing like a stud. Like it's funny on these Doc Rivers teams, the role players would get like 6 points a game. Kelly Oubre's averaging like 12. Nick Batum is averaging 4 threes a game. I mean, like this is fun to watch. Like I haven't had this much fun watching Sixers since the Brett Brown days when we were not supposed to be good. Like we're fun right now. And Tyrese Maxey is awesome. Like it's pretty funny because like I would say about 60% of the people that you ask around here in the Philadelphia area, who's your favorite Sixers fan or Sixers player, they're gonna say Tyrese Maxey just because of the joy he plays. We're used to Ben Simmons. We're used to James Harden. And that is no fun to watch and no fun to even be around that type of fan, like rooting for them. Like it's just not fun. But then you all of a sudden have this guy that doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands, but does great work off the ball, plays actually very improving defense from his last few years, and can get you 20 a night. Like he just looks so good, and he's always smiling. He's always having fun. The team loves him. When you get Patrick Beverley wanting you to be on the All-Star starters, you know you're doing something right. Speaking of Pat Bev, I'm so happy he's here because he loves this place and he said it on his podcast. Like, and he's been to a lot of places. Like, I mean, he's been to everywhere, right? He's been to LA, he's been to Houston, he's been to Minnesota, he's been to LA again. Like, he's just been everywhere. But all of a sudden he comes here and he fits the mold. He's like a super scrappy guy. I mean, he'll put up a good 6 or 8 points, but he plays great defense, super intense on defense, which I love. And honestly, he's just fun to watch. And I love when he freaks out too. I think it's great. And he I don't know, he just fits the mold of this city and how we think and all of that. And I just love it. And even a guy like Robert Covington right now is actually playing really well. He's got the most deflections or whatever that stat is in the league, which is a good defensive stat. So I mean, all the additions from the Harden thing is really helping us. And plus we gained two or three first round picks. So this is on. This team's actually so much fun to watch, and Nick Nurse is a stud. And I think everybody could feel it. The fact that they're third in the East. And I mean, this may be a hot take, but I'm not that scared of the Celtics because if Kristaps Porzingis is hurt, who the hell is their backup? Luke Kennard? I have no idea who their backup is, and the fact that both are whoever the center was hurt. He was hurt. I don't even know when. Like it was like a few weeks ago, and they played a full small ball lineup. How the hell is Jason Tatum gonna guard Joel Embiid? Oh my God, it's Al Horford. Yeah, so I remember when Horford and Porzingis were hurt. Who the hell is gonna guard Joel? I mean, Horford for some reason has Embiid's number every single time, and it's just frustrating because he was on this team, so I guess he knows how to guard him or whatever. But I really if there's one person, I think everybody can back me up on this. If there's one guy that I hate, it's Al Horford. Like he's just annoying. And it's because he stops Joel consistently, and it's just so frustrating. I hate it. But if there's one team that should scare me but really doesn't, it's the Celtics. For some reason, I think I've said this before. I don't get why they traded Marcus Smart. Or just let him go. Like that he like set the tone defensively. Even Robert Williams was a great young talent that you had. Yes, he's injury prone, but he again brought the intensity. This team's not gonna have any intensity. Drew Holiday's good, but on the decline in his career, Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown can hardly play any defense and can't go to his left hand. And you just paid him the most a basketball player has ever been paid, which is funny. And Kristaps Porzingis just can't stay healthy. He's currently hurt, and he probably, sadly, and I actually, when he wasn't at Celtic, I actually enjoyed watching him. But sadly, he'll probably get hurt again next month and be out for another 3 weeks. So, I mean, you just can't rely on this team right now, and their bench is not good. Like, Peyton Pritchard, you're relying on Peyton Pritchard to score your bench points. Like, what are we doing? So, and I actually would pick the Sixers bench over their bench. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just how I think. We just have more veteran leadership. Sorry. But it's definitely the Bucks that scare me, and I've said this before, maybe. But I feel like they haven't peaked yet, which scares me, and we haven't seen the peak of Lillard and Giannis. And the fact that they signed Lillard and didn't trade anybody for him, and they have like cookie cutter lineup from last year, just add Lillard in it, is crazy. At least to me, it's crazy. Because that duo, if you use it correctly, is nuts. And I'm honestly assuming this team hasn't clicked yet because of their new coach. And that's like a normal thing. Like the Eagles are going through that right now with coordinators. Like you just need to click. But I'm just afraid of the Bucks. As soon as they do click, they're not gonna stop. And Giannis and Lillard are too good not to be like oh shit, here we go. But yeah, I'm just having so much fun watching the Sixers right now. And I've said this before. I've tweeted this. I cannot believe that the Sixers are like the happy team currently in the city. That is a recipe for failure. The fact that just give it 4-5 months in May, June, and then all of a sudden you're gonna hate them again. But like right now, I'm really enjoying watching them. And people are gonna say all this about like their strength of schedule. I don't want to hear it. Joel Embiid is not even playing in the fourth quarter. And yes, the Pistons may be the worst team of all time, but like that to use that against Joel Embiid is hilarious. And like, so I'm the one that does all the TikToks and all the Instagram stuff, and there's been a lot of people saying shit about Embiid, like in the comments, like overrated, all that. And to you, I say, I bet Nikola Jokic would be pretty ass if he had Ben Simmons on his team. But I bet Nikola Jokic would be pretty ass if he had James Harden on the team, and who has proven to be a cancer, or didn't have the best coach in the entire league and Mike Malone every single year, and then he has stability every single year. Joel Embiid cracks in the playoffs because they overwork him, and he has a different coach every year, and then he runs into Al Horford, and then no one else can help him. Like, I feel like consistently everybody, like, yes, your MVP candidate and winner should not necessarily carry you, but he should lead. But if anything, basketball is the most team sport out of all of them, right? I mean, like Joel can score. Like we just saw it against the Bulls. Joel scored 43 points. You typically a normal person would be like, oh, you guys must have won by a lot. No, we lost by 4 points. And we only scored 104 points. So like like it's such a team game, and Maxey was so bad in the playoffs too. No one really says that, but he just wasn't good, and obviously probably because he was in the shadow of Harden, and Harden was awful in that game 7. But listen, whoever is saying Joel Embiid is overrated, you're wrong. Sorry, you're wrong. And currently he's outplaying Nikola Jokic, and Jokic, I saw the other night, went 5 for 12. No, Joel Embiid's my MVP. Sorry. But yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I don't know. Sixers and Flyers are killing it. That's all. That's how I'm gonna end this. Like Sixers and Flyers are so much fun to watch. And the Eagles need something to happen. Something needs to happen on that team. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm really hoping something happens. But I guess we'll see. But thank you guys everybody for watching or listening or however you're taking this content. I'm gonna try to do this weekly, whether it's me, whether it's Caleb, whether it's Jake, or whether it's whatever. We all just got back from school. I personally haven't been uploading these because they're time consuming, and I just had finals. I'm gonna try to do this weekly now. Just whenever I have time, pump one of these out. The level on TikTok is absolutely amazing right now. We're almost at 200 followers, which is awesome. So thank you so much for that. I'm gonna continue to try to do a bunch of stuff on Instagram, and we also are doing a bunch of stuff on Twitter. What I want to do eventually is interview people at a tailgating lot for the Eagles, but they do only have 2 home games left, and that's on Christmas Eve, which I'm sorry, I ain't doing, and possibly on New Year's Eve. So maybe be on the lookout for that. That'll be a YouTube video. That won't be anything else, and then I'll probably clip it, and you might see it on TikTok. But I want to do some more of that stuff, and I haven't really this hasn't really been spoken about yet. But I would like to do a bunch more like home run derby type of stuff in the summer / when we're on spring break, whenever we're together. We have some good ideas for the YouTube. That's not just podcasts. But yeah, so thank you guys everybody for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. All right, go Birds this weekend, I guess.